Good morning, good evening, good night, good midday, wherever. Hi. Dear subscribers or accidentally clicked into my live stream people from everywhere. Let me know if you can see me and then hear me well. At least my system is telling me I'm live. Hello, hello, who's the first person? Hey. Callie Santana. Everyone. Hi. So many people. Probably nobody, like not that many people are in their morning. Most people probably are in their evenings. So thank you for showing up. Hello. Yeah, I'm dressed up in purple. I actually just finished making this one yesterday. Yes. So I was like, yeah, try it on. Very purple. $11 p.m. Wow. Should go to sleep. 11 is a good time to go to sleep. Don't wait till any later than that. 11:30, yeah, 9 p.m. Wow. I know I stream at awkward time. Probably the best would be like on weekends. That usually gets most viewing, I'm guessing, but then I usually am very busy during the weekend, so as life happens. If anyone is curious, it's right now outside, it's -29 where I am. Not going out. Unless absolutely necessary. It's been -30 for a week now, pretty much. Yeah, since last weekend. It's ridiculous. It actually helps you lose weight because you don't want to go out, so you don't go grocery shopping. You're like, yeah, I can deal with whatever is in my fridge and I'll just make some magic out of it, and I'll just like try not to go out. So you're forced to basically go on a diet because it's way too cold to go out shopping. If you don't actually drive a car that's well, like, equipped, if you buy any leafy greens, vegetables, with leaves, in this cold, the moment you take it out of the supermarket, it freezes. It becomes like icicles. And then you defreeze it when you get home, but it's already all just droopy and like bad, So like you can't buy vegetables in this weather. It literally dies instantly the moment you walk out. Dead. Love the weather. +10 is nice. Hey, minus. Wow. Some people it's 29 plus. So we have like what, literally almost 60 degrees temperature difference. Wow, yeah, the world is a big place. If you're in the 20-degree zone of this world right now, lucky you. And the best. Crispy cold. Right now outside is crispy cold. Thank you for everyone saying this is pretty. This is bought like from Taobao. It belongs to a set of another thing, and this is made. And this is made too. Ha ha ha. The purple bamboo. I'm still working on it. I promise. I still have a few things I need to sort out of my velvet adventure. But like I said last time in my stream, or the time before, I can't remember. Once it's ready, I'll let people know. it's just really taxing of making this thing on my hands. I need to figure out a way to, I'd say, be able to make it without hurting too much, because it tends to make your knuckles swell after you do it for a bit, and there's only that much you can do every day. It really is no way of getting around it. I don't know, if you keep doing that for years, maybe you start to build up some kind of resistance and you just don't you don't get bothered by it. But I've had already a couple of times of doing it and getting my hands just are just not feeling well to continue doing it. I have to wait for quite a long time for it to go back to normal and start again. I don't know, for professional makers in this, how long does it take for them to eventually build up that resistance? If you're watching China's just finished Winter Olympics, for all these ladies who go out and present awards in those uniforms, they hold the flowers, to the athletes, of their hat. On the side of their hat, there's a flower, and that's made by hand with this technique, the traditional one. And there's an interview online about the maker of this flower, and they are a group of craftsmen in Beijing, and they were with that order. It took them a lot of effort because it's purely made by hand, and they also said there are only that many you can make every day before your hands give out. So I'm guessing there's no way of actually completely build up in resistance of doing this. So I'm still in the process of getting it sorted out. Turmeric, jiang. Yes, the jianghuang. It is known, also in Chinese medicine. Still though. So today it's February, end of February. We're still gonna just chat about dramas in general. There are always more dramas than the dramas I can watch, and then there are always more dramas than the dramas I have time to make videos on. Sometimes I just I watch more dramas than the dramas I talk about on my channels, just because of this and that. It's kind of impossible to make more than how many I'm already making videos. Yeah, so we can talk about generally the other stuff going on that I may or may not actually make individual videos. Only that much time, hey? This hair, not too bad. Maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. Because I was testing stuff. I wasn't planning. I wanted to do it one way, but then it ended up looking another way, and I'm yeah, fine, whatever. So it's not planned. We live in a weird world, hey? Just before, yeah, you guys know what's happening in this world. Just before we started this live stream, it's yeah, we escape to dramas so we can escape from reality, the fucked up world. That's always just delivering you more shocks than you want, hey? So I hope it can get resolved soon, and just F it. Every time you look at that, it's planet Earth, what the hell? Thank you, Nix, Mama. Yeah, I'll take my time. Not watching any current C-dramas, that's totally fine, because dramas are just dramas. You're not missing on a huge thing, really. Li Gengxi drama after Beyond. She's got a couple of things going on. I can't remember exactly, but don't worry, she will have more. She tends to have a really good good projects coming her way. Yes, I am watching. Is that a Yuya Day? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm actually watching the drama you're talking about. It's pretty good. It's almost finishing. Or is it finished? Because yesterday was up to episode 28. So supposedly there are only 30 episodes. It should be ending now. Haven't checked it yet. I liked it. I actually liked it more than I thought I would like it. It's a pretty nice high school drama. Heaven Official's Blessing, it only just wrapped last month, I think. So it's not gonna come out anytime soon. Like, don't even look forward to it this year. Post-productions of period dramas usually takes a long time, like half a year at least. And then, you know what BL adaptation right now in China is like? It's like a red line zone that nobody dares to cross. They're just crossing like the first one. Who knows which one would be brave enough to do it first, and then we see later ones coming out. It wouldn't be Heaven Official's Blessing taking the first step. It just wouldn't be them. Okay. Dine with Love, yeah, Dine with Love is okay, but the wait is long. And also, just because of the nature of the story, right? It's just not gonna get very dramatic. Or, like, with Dine with Love's episode 5 and 6, you see the old tropey plot of, like, previous former ex-lover coming back to your life, and I'm like, yeah, come on. That is so old and boring. So when that part shows up, I'm like, I hope they don't fall into that trap of just yeah, who knows. Maybe we'll see Heaven Official 2024 and 5. Oh god, don't hope for that. It's just too far away. Dramas change, like drama land, right? Entertainment, everything moves so fast. It pretty much would become irrelevant by 24. Nobody has that much patience, believe me. Don't they just have 2 dramas aired? One is about like the shooting one, and the other one is about ice. Actually, Liang Jie has like recently 2 dramas aired. She's got a lot of dramas. Crack of Dawn. Because I can't figure out who's... Crack of Dawn started to really fall apart, hey? After I made the video. It's like the mystery part is so... And I think it only has 2 episodes left, and episode 22 just really made me like that meme. You know, I looked at my phone like, that's episode 22 of Crack of Dawn. I was like, what? Like, who designed that plot? It's so... Yeah. The really super... Hello! Somebody helloed with a lot of exclamation mark. The recently airing ones, I think still the most solid one is Lifelong Journey, compared to other dramas. In terms of everything, of its caliber. But obviously it's not perfect. These days it's hard to find a perfect drama. But I'm happy enough with what it is. There aren't that many episodes left. I think there are only 10 episodes left. If you include today. Today should go to 48. So it's 58 in total. It's almost at the end now. Like I said, because it's 50 years and many characters, it's just bound to have a lot of super melodramatic plot happening to it. Concentration effect. Royal Feast, yeah, the Imperial Food Banquet, Royal Feast, however you call that. I did watch actually 8 episodes already, and I don't know. It lacks reasons for me to continue. I don't necessarily want to rant about that drama because that whole drama is, it gives you a really lazy feel. It's like they don't quite care what happens in the plot, and then you don't quite care about what happens in that story either. It's like neither the audiences nor the people in the story care about what goes on. That's the general impression you get from watching Royal Feast. I don't know if that's a very weird way of saying. I don't know how many people have watched it and have the similar feel, but to me it's like, yeah, cool, but you know, like we are both very like lacking in passion in the story itself. Like in the screen, outside of the screen, we're all like that watching the Royal Feast. Delicious Romance, because I can feel how that one's for censorship. Delicious Romance, I haven't watched it. I think I looked at the beginning of it and I was like, what? Is that the one that drinks from the toilet? Like the female lead drinks from the toilet? Like from that moment on, I'm like, I'm not watching it. No, goodbye. So I don't know what happened later, if that's the drama you're talking about. 武侠 coming up. Pure 武侠. Can't remember quite. Like there are a couple of, I know definitely will air this year, like as they design it, 武侠 related dramas, but then pure like old fashioned 武侠, not sure. Don't want to be friends with you. Yeah, that's a cute drama actually. And Chen Youwei, you know, like although he's still not a good actor, I think for contemporary drama, high school, like doesn't require a lot of very difficult acting part. He can pass. He's okay enough to not destroy the drama. But there's a long way to go. And then Xing Yunlai is a much better actor in comparison as a young actor. Previously, I just never really noticed him. I think he was in the time travel Qing Dynasty court drama with Li Landi and Wang Anyu 2 years ago, is it? Anyway, he was in that drama as one of the princes of Kangxi's. I remember his face in that drama, but I don't remember the plot that's related to him. But I remember his face is in it. In that drama, because I skipped through, I didn't notice his acting. But in the contemporary drama that's ongoing now, I did, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Much better than I thought and I anticipated. Hi, Ali. Thank you for your British sterling. So you're from the UK, because I see that. What can you buy with $4.49 now in Britain? I haven't been back there for 10 years now. Last time I was in the UK, it was 2012. Unbelievable, hey? It's been 10 years. So I haven't been there. I have no idea now, like, what is the price of everything. Too many skating ones, yeah, because Winter Olympics right now, hey? Who Rules World is coming out in March. Yes, I heard that too. I also heard a couple of other dramas, like She and Her Husband, the Yang Mi and Xu Kai one is coming out in March, supposedly. There are a couple of dramas that's supposed to come out in March. Even the Zhao Lu Si one, I think, the Hutong one, is also set to something like March. Let's see if it happens. Ma Tianyu drama. I can't remember. I'm not a particular fan of his. Honestly, how many good dramas has he been in? He looks very pretty, okay? But in terms of very good dramas, I still like 怪侠一枝梅, but that's a long time ago. I don't know how many of you have ever like watched that one. He is a supporting role, but I like that drama overall, so I pretty much like everybody in that. The Huo Jianhua, Wallace Huo, and Liu Shishi. It has Ma Tianyu. It also has who? It has a little bit of 同理, yeah, at the beginning. That's what I remember. And he played, I think Ma Tianyu played this like looking very Shu Sheng like character, like the scholarly style. Autumn Ballad, I haven't even checked it. I don't like how it looks. The moment I saw like the visual, I'm like, oh my god. First, the color grading is terrible. It makes everybody ashy, like, and it makes everybody like almost like bluish white. It's like they're alien. They're not even humans. The color is so weird. And honestly, even if you are a very pale Asian person, like I'm not super pale, I'm like normal pale, but like some very pale Asian people, we also still tend to have that warm undertone. It's the yellow brown kind of side of pale. And they changed the undertone to blue, which looks so weird. It makes everybody looks like they're poisoned. And then that drama just like it's just so like the look of it is so low budget. It's like they don't even want to bother with investing money into costumes. The filmy like fabric of those people looks so bad. Oh my god. The costume is so bad for Autumn Ballad. I have better things to do. So it's just me. It's like it's not good enough. Basically, just by looking at the what's in the frame, it's just too. It's just like they're quickly. It just gets it made quickly to whatever, you know. Like they don't really care. It's like there's no effort. 一枝梅, oh, people love 一枝梅. Yeah, it's old drama, hey, but I mean back then people actually fight for real on screen when they're on wire and fighting, like Liu Shishi's fighting, because her dance training definitely helped. Her speed and her like force and accuracy of movements. These days you just don't see that. Snow Sword Stride, bring it out and whip the dead body of that drama. You know, those days, back in those days, people actually work for real. These days, I'm like, the golden ages of dramas have passed. Let's just be honest. We're just basically digging things that's still edible out of a pile of garbage these days. Wire dangerous. Well, fighting, like wire work always has an element of risk. But these days, right, it's being tested for a long time. So if it's done by professional people, it's pretty safe. I think there was a time when they used a particular type of wire that caused the problem of snapping and break Huang Xiaoming's ankle. Yeah. And afterwards, all the wire work in China changed the wire. They didn't continue using the metal wire. They used the kind of rope that you use in climbing. From then on, everything got changed. That's one thing I know from Dramaland. Huang Xiaoming's ankle changed wire work in China of using what material. Pretty interesting story. SSS was green, Autumn Ballad is blue, next should be purple. Actually, Nirvana in Fire is purple. Nirvana, the first one. The second one is weird. Like it has a bit purple, but has a bit teal in it too. But honestly, if you look at the unfiltered version of Nirvana in Fire 1 with Hu Ge, that drama, it has a very strong magenta undertone. That also looks very bad. I don't know, like 正午阳光 is not very good at color grading. Okay, this is one thing that they don't do well, is color grading. Pretty much every drama that comes out of 正午阳光 can be tweaked a little bit more to look prettier. It's yeah, 正午阳光 is like Nirvana is on the colder side of things. I mean, maybe it's also due to whether you watch it from computer screen or different platforms. Because I noticed different web platforms would actually treat color differently. My video, when I look at it on my own screen, is one color, but when it gets uploaded to YouTube, they will change the color slightly. It never is what I make it to be. And then if you look at Vicky's dramas or Tencent's dramas, like if you compare the same drama, it actually look different. Like the color is decoded in different ways. I don't know. So you can't be 100% sure what actually the color, like the real color of it is, but overall Nirvana is a little bit magenta-ish. So, tiny things. You know, if you like drama, that's totally fine. Personal preferences, no problem. but when like for example, Zoe, when you ask me what do I think of Royal Feast, if I rent, I can rent a lot of things about it. But then there's no need to do that. Nobody's paying me. They certainly wouldn't hear it, and even if they hear it, they wouldn't change anything about that. And then so like, you know, what's the point? 批评要加钱. Sometimes I think, so I give up or just like let it go. If you actually want to hear constructive criticism, you need to pay me. I can't just give it out for free. And also Ming Dynasty is just something that's but because these days a lot of people have a lot of research done about that dynasty, about a lot of things, so it's very easy to just make any type of mistake and get ranted about in the Ming Dynasty setting drama, from the costume to the hair to just the basic things of like how it works in the palace, and then different emperors and what are the political sort of things at the time, and then all that, right? It's just like if you make one mistake, it's just so many people are gonna notice, basically. So, and obviously this drama is focused on food, so it's gonna make the center of the story the cooking, the kitchen, the all the people who are in that section, the set of the service, of all the chefs and related to that. And obviously it will have to make itself important compared to the bigger picture. Otherwise, like what you're telling, you know, those story. But we all know honestly, in history, the kitchen department of a royal court, the only time they would show up in any record is if they managed to poison an emperor and killed him. Then they will leave their name in history books. Otherwise, nobody cares, okay? There's hardly any proper record. I mean, there's record about what the emperor ate every day, yes. But in terms of the people making it, who cares? So, honestly, is they are not that important to anybody in that imperial court, but then because you choose that as the focus of the story, it will inevitably make it look too important, and sometimes it becomes very laughable. That like one dish or one chef and whatever, you know, like changes the whole picture or whatever and makes a big impression on the emperor. I'm like, no, that just never happened, honestly. But hey, you know, it's just drama, it's fictional, who cares? It's just like pick a time, we semi kind of try to recreate the time and just tell our story of that. So I take that like, yeah, I know, but honestly, nobody really cares attitude about it. So it has a lot of weird things that just make you laugh about like the logic behind things, whether that can happen or not. In the time setting of what they claim to be, you just laugh at that and then you're like, yeah, well, fine. But then, you know, I know what kind of drama you are, so we're not hoping for you to do great historicals. That's like my attitude of it. And also just don't take that drama seriously in anything, you know, in costuming, hair. Some of the costume and hair is a little bit based on history. It's better than completely going off the track and then just completely imagine it. But then it's kind of like we've taken 80% of what history looks like, and then we add 20% of our own imagination. So there's a weird look of from very far away, it looks like it, but then when it gets closer, it's like, but that's not that, that detail is wrong, but then, so basically that's what it feels like. Although I do have to say, Xu Kai, when he loses the chubby fat on his face, he definitely looks much better. Thank you for Aisha Omar. Thank you. You know, the best thing about Royal Feast so far for me is like, Xu Kai is really good looking in Ming Dynasty costumes. He looks good. He looks very, very good in those costumes, and he had his jawline, like you can see it now, instead of like ancient love poetry when it's just like blended into the neck because of whatever. At least in this drama, you can see the bone structure of his face, and it looks very, very good. I mean, he was a model, what can you say? You know, he has the perfect model build of things. Very eye candy. But that's like the only thing that I really enjoy from the drama. Even the cooking is like, the cooking is not bad, but because the drama has a weird color grading overall, like they use that weird filter for everything. It makes the food look less vibrant, and saturation is not on the right level of real food. So it cuts down the appetizing element of food. So although I think it's pretty well filmed, it's not as good as it could be. So food part, and then Xu Kai looks very good. I think that's the two things about that drama that I when I watch, I'm like, enjoyable. Everything else is like pretty much on the brink of renting. And also Xu Kai is dubbed by Wei Chao. You know, again, this voice is way too familiar to me. Lan Wangji, okay, Lan Wangji in both draw. Lan Wangji in the audio play, that was Lu Zhixing and Wei Chao doing the radio play of The Untamed. And then he was the voice of Jing Rui in Nirvana. He was the voice of so many other people. And I'm just too familiar with his voice. So the moment Xu Kai starts to speak with his voice, I'm like, completely take me out of the story. Can't get back in. And then Wu Jingyan is dubbed by Qiu Qiu, who dubbed Ni Huang in Nirvana. So you're hearing Jing Rui. You're hearing basically Jing Rui from Nirvana and Ni Huang from Nirvana. Talking to each other. Like, how weird is that, right? So, it just destroys it furthermore. What do I think of Lifelong Journey? I've already said it's a pretty good drama compared to other things going on. I mean, I know it's mellow. It's getting more melodramatic than needed, but concentration effect. In reality, if you look at a big family that has like a couple of children and children's children and children's children's children, across half a century, you're bound to have a lot of crazy things. Like accidental death, incest, divorce, weird family secrets, all kinds of crazy things happening. Reality often is much more dramatic than dramas can be. But then when you watch it as one drama that happens episodically every day, you know, it just does get a little bit too much. So, but the actors are so good. Okay, overall in Lifelong Journey are the best of the best. Haven't heard anything on 飞狐外传. Yeah, that's one proper wuxia. But don't just don't hold it, you know, like don't give it too much hope basically these days. First is whether you can actually trust the choreographers they're gonna find for that drama. If they pass that, then let's talk about other things. I mean, for wuxia, if the fighting is not exciting, what's the point of making it, right? How to be the dubber. Huh. It's like any industry. Go to get professional training and then go to auditions and go try to find a place that wants to take you in and then work in there. You know, like it's pretty much like being an actor, really. Whose world? Yeah. For any IP, like fantasy IP adapted dramas in China, I would advise everybody to keep their excitement low before it comes out. Because you should know, like most of the platforms or companies that makes these things don't make it out of passion or love. They make it out of the desire to get quick money back. And very rarely do you come across a production or the people who basically have the say in the whole thing actually did it because they like it. Maybe it's some IP they've loved for years before they get their hand on it and then want to do it justice. It rarely happens. Happens very, very rarely. It does, but very rarely. And most of those so-called big IP, web novel, whatever adaptation, the people who are actually doing it don't care. Like, don't care even an ounce. Like, they just don't give a shit, basically, to the original thing at all. That's honestly what happens 99% of the time. So, you probably care about it much more than they do. So, lower your expectation. Minimize the impact on your health. That's what I would suggest. Okay. Favorite things. You are like me, hey, Chinese Paladin 4. My gun is loaded, waiting for it to come out, and I'm gonna shoot it. Like I'm gonna shoot it into pieces. It's already booked. There's no way that drama is gonna turn out to be a good one. Come on, Ju Jingyi is the female lead. It cannot be good. Trust me. There's no hope for it. So like get the guns loaded and get ready. Yeah, I think for most of the international audiences, you probably have no idea about Xianjian game, and it's totally fine because if you don't read Chinese, you can't play it. Pretty much, it's too Chinese game, and then it's pretty silly if you think back on it, like what type of game it is back then. But for a lot of it's just nostalgic value is too high for a lot of people like me. I really like the 4, Xianjian 4, Chinese Paladin 4, the game. The characters are really, really nice. Like, I think it's one of the best of the entire Xianjian sort of ensemble of games over the years. I still remember back then when I first played that game, I had an ideal cast in my head of who would be the best male lead, female second, female second if it gets adapted to become a drama. I remember that very clearly, and I had my picks, but I'm not gonna share it with you because it's just like it's too old. It's been too many years, and all those people are now middle-aged people. They can't play this fantasy drama leading characters of like 15 years old anymore. It's long past its best before time. So it's no point of talking about that anymore. But there was a time that really, really had this in my head, and it never happened. And year after year after year, right? You wait, and then who knows? That many years later, they start to make it, and then they give you this cast, and you're like, really? Lifelong Journey is bought by Disney? Disney Plus? Anyone? I have no idea. I mean, they do distribute that drama overseas, so could be. Would be interesting though. Would Disney cut it shorter? Who? Dang, pigeon? Why would you ask, do I like pigeon? How random. Hygge Blossoms Shanghai. I'm not excited for it. Like, I'm not excited for pretty much anything really these days. But for that one, particularly not. I don't have the 100% really faith in like Wang Jiawei being able to do a drama as well as he does film. Because his films are so him. Nobody else on this planet will make a movie like he does. So, if it's his film, it's his film. And it's so distinctively his. But film is film. Film is 1 hour and a half, 2 hours, and it just works differently. But once it becomes a television series, even though if it's only 8 episodes, it's still a different thing. And things that work for film may not work for a television series. I have no idea if he can do it, basically, and make it watchable. So, Hygge as the leading actor, actor can only do that much, basically. If your overall structure of things is problematic, then actors cannot change any of that. That's why I'm not excited for it. You just have to wait till it comes out and see, you know. The more worrisome part of that project definitely is like, really, him being the person doing this project, Wang Jiawei, is it gonna be, you know, watchable, basically? Yeah. I have no idea why would people cast Ju Jingyi. It may totally be Ju Jingyi casted the drama. I mean, like, I have no idea what kind of like pull she has and why she keeps getting these roles. But then her company behind her and whatever is, like, they would maybe want to put her in a whatever project and then go out seek for those projects, and then sometimes, you know, like it is. There are certain projects where the production company, producer, have bigger says than other people. But then there are other projects where the producers has to kneel and has to feed everyone and has to pamper everybody so that they can get it made. There are different types of productions out there. Not sure what this one is. So.《雄狮少年》, I haven't watched it yet. If I get around. It's very contested in China. You know why? Haven't had time to watch it. I sometimes do take notes. Sometimes I don't. Watching dramas depends. Depends on. I sometimes even record my reaction, but I hardly ever use them. Just in case, you know, something really weird happens and I start to react in a really funny way. But then most of the time you don't hear that in my dramas. Okay, what the... Oh, interesting. Goat panning. Oh shit, I forgot about its existence. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I watched 2 episodes. And I was like, it's so boring. And by end of episode 2, I still don't care about any of those characters. They're like, I don't care if you die tomorrow or you get like shot and some people come and rob your gold and whatever. I'm like, yeah, but why should I care? By episode 2, I was like, yeah, it's pretty. Good actors, yeah, I can tell. But then why should I care about your story? You know, by episode 2, I'm like, why should I care? So I forgot about its existence. I'm sorry. Did anything exciting happen in that drama later? It's very short, I know, but I was like, yeah, but I don't care. Any news on Ultimate Note's second part? There is no second part. Don't think they have the copyright beyond that point. That's why the drama ends there. And that's it. If I haven't remembered it wrong, Ultimate Note ends where it ends because it couldn't have continued anymore. They don't have the further on copyright of things. Storyboarding. I don't make films, so I don't need to storyboard. If you go out and shoot a short film, you probably need some kind of storyboard, but I just sit in front of the camera and talk. I hardly need to storyboard any of that. Yeah, if you like it, totally fine. You know, goat panning. I watch all kinds of dramas, but then whether it sticks with me is just like, you know, I can't predict it either. It may just because of timing, who knows? Because it was like Reset was ongoing at the same time. Most of your energy and focus got pulled to one side and you don't notice other things. Yeah, but that story didn't grab me, so that's it. Why Women Love? Anybody watch that? I haven't. Because I very briefly looked at the first episode and I was like, not my type of thing. It's oh no. So I didn't continue. Yeah, well, no new friends, please. If this can take your attention away from that, that's good. There's no need to focus on these things all the time because most of the time you can't do anything about it. It just makes you feel it sucks to be human. And it sucks to exist. And then you think everything in this world is effed up. And it just keeps getting worse, right? And then you can't do anything about it. You still have to continue your life. So it's like, in the end, you're like, yeah, but then maybe I shouldn't be just completely focusing on these things. Huh? Love and Destiny, a fanfic? No, it's original script. But the scriptwriter did say that when they write the male lead, they did have Zhang Zhen in their head as the actor. They kind of wrote the role around the actor. The scriptwriter said that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because I think I private messaged her. And she said she had Zhang Zhen's photo taped to her cubicle while she was writing it. So she was looking at his picture and writing Love and Destiny. Looking at the picture and writing Love and Destiny. So they were like, we cannot imagine anyone else taking that role because it's literally wrote for her, for him. Interesting, hey? Do you know you have become more and more generous? Well, not really. Not really that generous. But I mean, I tell you, usually is at a certain point the drama means certain things to me. But then often they start to just crumble later. So you hear my rating, and usually at the end of it, it will be a lower than that rating. But then I don't necessarily make another video on it. Because pretty much I would just be saying, after watching the whole thing, I think it deserves that one. And then that video would end. So why do I make it? So you get the mostly first impression ratings, unless the whole thing is finished. Unless the whole thing is finished. Usually it doesn't happen on my channel because there are too many Chinese dramas. And often I feel like I just can't wait to get a certain drama out of the way so that I can move on to the next. Too many. And also, like, the rating is very personal. It's based on a very vague overall impression of things. And there's no hard standard you can really go by and tell, you know, it's not like 100-meter dash, you know, whoever crossed the line first is the person who wins, and it's clear-cut thing. It's more like the scoring thing, you know, the scoring type of sports where that personal impression thing plays a huge part. So, sometimes it may look generous, but it may just totally because I like it for whatever weird reason. And then I will tell you, you know, often it's like, yeah, it's a crappy drama in that respect, but I like it, so I'm gonna give it a high rating. Who cares? It's not like I give it a high rating, it's gonna earn like even 1 cent more. Or it's gonna get any actual awards in this world that actually counts for anything. So, it's pretty much like, yeah, I'll do whatever I like type of thing. Older woman, younger man, dramas are cringy. It's often written by people who really don't understand how real human relationship works. They just like, they feel, oh, this may sell. You know, it's like I'm making strong female independent roles of these days. And often it also has that weird reverse perspective of, because we've had a lot of previous sort of male dominant world's view on women of like powerful CEO, older, more experienced, more money, and the younger, more innocent woman. And then these days it's out of fashion, so let's just turn it around. We make the woman, you know, just totally change the gender, but it's still the old story format of things. And you think that in that way it becomes more 21st century. No, it's not. It's still another form of dominance, right? Like gender inequality. So like whether you put the woman on top or the man on top, it's still the same story. And I guess most of the people writing this type of dramas, they don't even think about that. Like they don't even realize what they're doing. Can't blame them. You really can't blame those people, because if you see just how many basic mistakes they make in grammar and in Chinese spelling, so basically writing the right character for the right sound, then you're like, yeah, well, they should go back and their middle school Chinese teacher will kick their ass. I mean, if these people are writing dramas, you can't expect them to think beyond that point. So these dramas are just like, yeah, whatever. just don't take it seriously. My real rating at the end. Oh god. And also those ratings, it's just like a very like artificially imposed system that really doesn't mean anything. I give it 3 gold, I give it like 3 landmines, so what? It's still there. I don't earn even 1 cent from it. So I don't even take it seriously. Just don't take it seriously on your end either. Modern Marriage is on air. Yes, I haven't checked it out yet. I know it's on air. It's on air from 21st? Yes. 21st. Autumn Ballad. I heard like some of the plot is good, yeah, like I said, but I can't deal with the look of it and how cheap everything looks. Also, there's one thing about Qiao Xing's acting that it's hard to get used to is she acts way too much like a contemporary person in the period drama. And it's like it's very subtle, but then it's also very obvious. I think because there's a sort of unconscious agreement of the general public, I guess of every nation. But like if I talk about China, then I would say most of the Chinese audiences have a built-up expectation of how period dramas ancient people should look like and talk and walk, and there's a level, like there's a very vague, but everybody knows it's there, and if you break it, that impression, it just doesn't feel right. Obviously, you can't travel back in time and just film ancient people and see how they walk and talk and move, and probably they're just like us, because it's human biology and anatomy. It hasn't changed over the last how many thousands of years. But because over the time, because of 戏曲, because of drama, because of film, so many on-screen interpretations and representations of how it appears to be. If you don't clearly kind of put that difference, you draw a line of contemporary dramas acting and then period drama, and you just act exactly like how you would, just because you're in a costume, that's the only look difference. But then in terms of it, like all the details of the things of how people present themselves, if you just give up that kind of conscious awareness of you're playing a period drama, not a contemporary drama, you just go with however you like, it just looks weird on screen. And she looks way too contemporary. It's like Li Gengxi in Snow Sword Stride. She looks way too contemporary. The way she walks, talks, moves, it just like the rhythm of things doesn't work with other period appearing characters. It makes them look like they don't belong there. Yeah. And you can't fight against that kind of overall impression of things. It just doesn't look right. And most people may not be able to articulate that, but they would say, and it just doesn't look right. A couple of actors have this problem of when they play period dramas, they are not aware that they're in a period drama, and they look just not belonging to that time and space. Yeah, I mostly noticed her, but other people, I have no idea. I didn't spend that much time watching. She's the lead, right? She shows up more often than others. And then I didn't watch that many episodes, so yeah. I know, these things, it's pretty much like, can you actually be sure in ancient time everybody would be speaking the exact same dialect in the same regional place? Maybe not, because of their different class and whatever. But then if these days you have a period drama set in a particular dynasty and you have this actor speaking perfect standard Mandarin, and the other person comes in with a strong Hong Kong accent, the other one comes in with a Taiwan accent, and then they are all sitting in the same room talking, I bet you, like, if you understand the language, you're just not gonna believe it. It's just gonna sound too weird. So, expected reality. There are unwritten rules, but you have to abide. Otherwise, it just creates more trouble than good. And just like period drama expectation is also one of those things. And very experienced actors will understand that, so they would try to avoid looking wrong for the time. But younger actors are not many people are very aware of that, I say. Summer Again, I haven't. I've heard about that title a couple of times. Haven't. Also, I think it's due to particular type of clothes people are wearing at different time. It would affect how they move. So, certain movement when you're dressed up in period dramas is caused by the clothes itself. That makes it impossible for you to act like a contemporary person. And if you insist act like that, it will look weird. Like long sleeves and long skirts, hair ornaments, that's gonna cause a lot of slapping if you don't control your movement, all that. 鞠婧祎, again. She has no posture, and then she likes to have all the dangling bits on her hair. I don't know why. Like, she wants to make her own life difficult, apparently. When you have that many things, you pretty much cannot really like move your neck without moving your body. You have to move like the whole thing like that. Otherwise, you know, your face gets just slapped by yourself. But then she likes all those dangling bits and she doesn't control it. I don't know. It makes the makeup person's life very difficult. Every new shot they take, they're gonna have to readjust the tangled dangling bits. Eternal Love season 4. Haven't heard about that. I doubt, because the first one is super successful. Second one okay. Third one start to you see it doesn't get that much attention anymore. So if it doesn't make sense to continue making that franchise and make money, they probably wouldn't continue doing that. It's all business, right? If the third one did really well and got a lot of attention, yeah, make the fourth one. Why not? But if the third one is already kind of at the end of the, you don't want to do anymore. Have you seen Zhang Xishuan's face? Well, 演戏. There's only leaked photos, right? That's it. You don't know. There's no trailer, no any other thing. You can't go off on anything else apart from the couple of photos you've seen him. And like I said, you know, BL right now is like the hot potato that nobody wants to hold in their head. Hold in their head. That's weird. Potato in head. The boiling hot potato that everybody just like is not wanting to hold. We shall wait and see. It's not like they don't have any other things to do and other works to do. They have plenty. It would be sad if you really want to watch it and it doesn't come out, but then ultimately it's not gonna destroy any of the actors' life. As for producers and the production companies, maybe like one of the small companies that put all the money in it and then crush and then dead. That could happen. Yeah, well, Quincy, that's good. One of the good functions of reviews is telling you, you know, just whether it's worth going into or not, but just from my angle of things. There are a couple of actors I will not mention on my channel under no matter what circumstances, so, you know. So, if you're typing those questions, please forgive me, I'm not gonna talk about them. And if you've been on my channel long enough, you know who they are. And it's just my own choices. You know, there are plenty of other things to talk about. And it's a big world. Baiyu period drama. Yeah, the Longxi is likely to come out soon. I think they're trying to make it come out as soon as possible with Chen Kun. That one I look forward to very much. Hope it doesn't fail. Ma Qingwang's story is a little bit dangerous in sense of it often reads better as a novel than when it gets on screen as a adaptation. And so far, if you look at all those Ma Boyong's novels that got adapted, it pretty much all have this similar problem of like it reads better as a written story, but then when it gets visualized, somehow just things don't quite work. Or maybe they haven't found the best adaptation writer yet for his work. Because he wrote it as novels, he never really envisioned it as a visual story. And there are certain things that just doesn't quite work. And then you need a very experienced and very clever person to translate that, so that when you move it, it's on itself a good story. So Longxi, although I really like Bai Yu and Chen Kun, I have to like just like keep the expectation low. Figure skating Olympics, some of it, not the whole thing. I know the 3 Russian girls who are just like insane. It's like the skill level is unbelievable. And obviously the Japanese guy, everybody knows about him. He's really popular in China. Yeah. I do know about these couple of people and then what kind of crazy things they've done for this year. Breaking the human limits. I want that drama too, hey? Adeline about the Brotherhood of Blades. I can't wait. I cannot wait because it has Zhang Yunlong and he's dressed up as a Ming Dynasty person. It's like, what more can you ask for? Choreograph, yeah, you can do it in period costumes. Think about Jingju, Chinese opera, Chinese Beijing opera. They're dressed more crazily than costumes in dramas, right? They have like usually crazy headpieces, like huge feathers, 4 flags on their back, and then they can still fight. So if you're well trained, you can. It's just gonna be more and more tricky. Yeah. Wow, it's been an hour. Depending on what kind of characters are, the flags usually are generals. The general characters, they have like 4 different flags on their back. And there are definitely reasons for that. I can't remember exactly, not an expert. But you usually don't see that from other characters other than fighting generals. And I don't know, like when you have that on your back, like how do you move? But they can do somersaults in that. It's pretty intense. So today, we've been here for an hour and 10 minutes. Let's see if we can cut it in, I don't know, hour and a half. It would be a little bit intense to go to 2 hours. There are a lot of dramas ongoing now, but then, yeah, there hasn't been one that just made me super excited yet this year. I mean, Reset is nice, for sure, but maybe it's because it's too short. And then, what else? Lifelong Journey, I really liked it. But then again, it's like the type of family drama that you watch with your parents. And all of you will be very happy about it, type of drama. But too many characters, too many plot lines of things. So it's very hard for you to just like completely get devoted by one thing. That drama is like a encyclopedia of life. So you see the overall picture and you think it's very impressive. But then it's hard to have a very strong personal, like you have momentary, very strong reaction to it, but overall, it's just like a too big a picture. Although you do have to say, Li Jiaying is such a good actor. Just have to say that again. He's just really good. So far this year, probably the dramas that give me strongest impressions are these two. Up to this point. Yeah, so yet to get into anything seriously. It's totally possible that nothing is gonna happen this year that's gonna be super exciting. I mean, you have one exciting year, one less exciting year, one exciting year, one less exciting year. It's very normal to have that up and down. Republic drama. Recent knowledgeable POV. Yeah, well, older ones are good. Republic of China drama. 北平无战事. That's one of the best. Seriously good, but then a little bit too serious. I mean, there's still one that hasn't come out. 人生若如初见. Don't even remember what's the proper Chinese name because it has too many different versions of the one line of the poem that gets used in different dramas. But the one with 周游李现春夏, that 民国 setting drama that supposedly is finished like for over a year but still hasn't shown up. I don't know what happened to that drama. Yeah, I really want that one. It just has the vibe of maybe it will be a good drama, but it just is not airing. I don't know why. Any recent years of super good ones are, I wouldn't say there is one. There are okay ones, but not like super good. No romance in it. A drama that has no romance in it, how difficult. The I don't want to be friends with you and I want to be brothers with you. I don't want to be brother and I want to be brother with you. That drama pretty much has like no romantic storyline. Like it hardly has any. So it's a high school drama that has hardly any romantic part, which is cool in that sense. If you want to check it out, it's pretty watchable. It's mostly about 3 guys, 1 father and 2 sons, with quotation mark when it comes to the sons part, living under the same roof. And so, as you can see, like there's very little romantic part that can happen with that kind of setup. There are little bits of like a girl kind of has like infatuated with a boy type of thing, but it just happens for a little bit, or the boy likes the girl but then it goes away and it's not the main thing. Hardly, like no romance at all is very hard, but yeah. And then Crack of Dawn has no romance, it only has violence. And then when it comes to male lead and female lead, supposedly there should be some kind of romance, but it really doesn't go anywhere. I mean, it's sweet at times, but they haven't really reached any sort of significant, meaningful point, and then the whole thing starts to crumble in its mystery line. So I don't know if you can categorize that as having no romance, but it has a lot of fear of marriage in that. What else? What else? Dramas. Liu Haoran and Rong Zishan. Ah, yeah, K.I. Rong Zishan. Yeah, I remember Rong Zishan recently just signed to a company. I can't remember which one, but I remember the one that shows up like he's recently signed to a company. I didn't remember which one. Liu Haoran. So is that the company that basically Chen Sicheng owns? My brain is like mixing people up. Nirvana in 3 is I think it's in Zhengwu's plan, but and they kind of have the script already ready, but they are not making it yet. I don't know. Making a period drama is pretty taxing, so need to figure out all the things logistically. Do I ever go outside and smell the roses? Well, these days no, because it's -30 outside. I try not to go out. And certainly there's no rose to smell. There's only snow. Like snow pile that's taller than me. So I don't know, like smelling it, whether it's gonna do any good for me. Like sometimes you like, if I touch it, is it gonna avalanche and just bury me? So right now, no. But when the weather is good, obviously. Yeah, when you think, if you watch the I Don't Want to Be Brothers, it has very little romance. Like, it has that type of like, yeah, supposedly the girl likes the boy, but then actually doesn't do anything. And then eventually they realize, no, we actually don't like each other. That type of story. Shuilong drama. Has he made something? I can't remember. Don't worry about him. He's got plenty of stuff going on. I don't think he will go out of work. Don't worry about that. He will have stuff. Thank you for saying the color looks good. Let me just see it. I think in reality, it's a little bit more red and like warmer than when it goes on camera. It goes on camera more blue. So it's less blue in reality. Yeah, that's camera. There's bound to be some kind of color difference. In winter, well, there are plenty of things to do, really. Often I find I don't have enough time. Need a good drama, being indoor most of the time, yeah. I mean, you can search everywhere, right? You don't have to watch a Chinese drama. I mean, Chinese dramas are often not that good, really. Go find some better things made other places. If you have like access to Netflix, I'm sure you're gonna get a couple of really good dramas from everywhere that's not Chinese that are very good. Let's be honest. I'm a Chinese drama reviewer, but I have to admit, most of Chinese dramas are crap, okay? Come on. Don't you agree with me? Hardly ever do you come across a really solid, good Chinese drama that can compete on some level with the good international, other country ones. Every year you can pick out a couple of them, that's it. And in the department of super long run super soapy melodramatic drama world, it cannot compete with Mexico dramas or Turkish dramas. Come on. Like the super 狗血 level maximum dramas. And in that competition, Mexico, Turkey, wow. It's like beats everybody. So nobody can be better than them. Like the most melodramatic plot crammed in one. You would have all those elements of like Mary Sue, of losing memory, of getting terminal disease, of like everything, like incest, whatever. Let's be honest. So like Chinese dramas sort of competition, right? Like compared to what? Like in pretty much every department of dramas, there's better ones. Probably only thing that China does that's different from others is the type of particular wuxia and xianxia drama that other culture just doesn't have. But then in recent years, we all have seen how they have become, right? So A Chinese drama reviewer here just tells you, you actually have better choices out there. Being very frank. So don't limit your perspective. Oh god. See how frank I am? I really tell you what I genuinely think. We ordered Turkish. Yeah, the Turkish dramas are crazy. And then they have really good looking people. I have to admit, good looking guy and then very pretty women. Really pretty. It appeals to the basic human nature. Hello from UK. Yeah, it's pretty late there. Evening. Something like in the evening. Not too late yet in the UK. Melodrama, yeah. Too mellow. I know, but it's exciting to watch, right? Historical, yeah. It's not just restrictions, really. It's like not many people are doing very good historicals. You can't write very good scripts, then you can do a good historical. If you want to do a really good historical, it really needs a very good writer in pretty much everything. Not just in story writing, in research, in their bigger perspectives, in command of a language. It requires the best of the best scriptwriters to do. And some of the better ones these days, they don't do dramas anymore. For all kinds of reasons. They'd rather do other things than dramas. So you end up with this situation where it's just impossible to make good historicals. Oh, think about that. Think about the Qing Empire. I don't know, like what's the English title that came out? Is that end of last year? Zhang Luyi playing a 13-year-old. And the actress Zhu Zhu playing his mother is actually younger than him. You know, that type of historical gets written and filmed. I'm like, yeah, oh, hopeless. Fracture Cure, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, okay, so probably gonna be here for another 20 minutes, mostly. Most. I'm gonna go away. You know, beginning of the year, usually January, February, everybody is a little bit lazy. I think everyone is kind of like suffering from the leftover of last year and end of the year exhaustion and bad weather. Wherever you are, really. Because if you're here, it's cold, and if you're on the other side of the planet, it's hot. It's just like too cold and too hot. Either way. Silence, awkward. Awkward silence of silently staring at my camera for another 20 minutes. No, I think I've been having like 200 people, about 200 people stream for a while. It's fine. It's okay. It doesn't need to, like, you know, having a huge audience. And I don't have that much interesting thing to say about it either. Do not have super hot, super popular drama, topic heavy drama now. So obviously people are not, not gonna be that many people. Yeah. And this type of like super popular drama for a while is just like, you can't hope, you can plan for it. It just happens or it doesn't. It may show up multiple times a year, or it may not show up for a couple of years. It's just like, nah. Like world politics, certain things are bound to happen, but you're just not sure when. And then it happens. And you're like, yeah, okay, shitstorm. Well, never too late. If you came in very late, well, still I'm here. And I haven't said anything worth listening anyway, so don't worry about that. You're not missing on something important. Wow, 1-8. Like a melody? Come on, go to sleep. Come on. Why? Why? Your body, you may like to listen to my voice, but I'm sure your liver doesn't. And your brain doesn't either. Okay, they need to get sleep. They need to get the function, you know, that they need to perform every day. So go to sleep, please. Try to go to sleep before 11, you know, it's always a good time mark. If you actually read Chinese medicine, it will tell you that. Because supposedly from 11 to 1 is the most important time of the day. Both the noon and the midnight one. So from like 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then from 11 p.m. to 12 to 1. So crossing the 11 and 1 twice a day. If you can afford, make sure you are sleeping during that time. I think during the day is if you can make half an hour between 11 and 1, and then at night go to sleep before 11. Supposedly, it's that biological clock that you're it's going, and it's better for you that way. 子午交, right? If you look at Chinese traditional medicine and stuff, it's the day and night's crossing point thing. But obviously you cannot have basically one person, living both versions and compare over 10 years time which one would be better. You can't do two timelines. One is you never sleep before 11. One is you always sleep before 11. And then after 10 years, see your health. You know, you can't do that on yourself. You can do cross different people, groups of people. But you only have the relative sort of truth about that, whether it works. Still though, I think sleeping before that is a good idea. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, the time thing is a problem, right? They're whenever I start my stream, there will always be people somewhere in the some time zone that's crossing the day and night. It's a round planet, unfortunately. Gank your heart. No, I haven't. And I also need to check out what the title is referring to. Challenges at midlife. I watched the first 2 episodes yesterday. It's very 狗血. It's like 狗血拉满. Right from the first moment, like the first shot and first scene is 狗血. Already, it's like pushing the melodramatic to the ultimate. And it starts with a bang like that. So, I think it's just gonna get all the way goxie to the end. Whether you can take that, it depends on your preference. It's very goxie. And it's the 第三梯队's work. So the third team. In a way, if you look at 正午阳光, that production company, I mixed them up with 山东影视 because some of the people actually cross over. Like they are 山东影视 and then they are 正午阳光 and then like, so do you like attribute that to people or attribute to the credited company, right? If actually a person is like both company have some ties with them. Anyway, for 正午, they have the first 梯队, the first team director, which would be 孔生理学, right? The that, and then you have sort of the second tier, the third tier directors. For 相逢世界 midlife, yeah, it's pretty much the third team. So they tend to have the lesser polished work. I think Ode to Joy and All Is Well, I think these two are done by this director. I need to check. I can't remember exactly too many works from that company. So when there are different sort of level of directors are taking the helm on different projects, you really can see the difference. And also because the original script is super goxie, so it's like goxie plus goxie. It's just gonna get very goxie. Accompany you to the top of the world. 陪你到世界之巅啊, That's an old drama. Not that old, but it's been a while. Haven't really watched it. I've watched snippets of it. I know like certain very like famous moments from it. Yeah, but I haven't watched the whole thing. This emoji is so cute. I haven't watched it, so I can't say much about it. I know a couple of shots and what people roughly look like in that drama. It's been a while. I think there are a couple of dramas coming out this year with Zheng Yecheng, and they're all period dramas. And they all have fightings, so I'm looking forward to that. I just remembered. The Jin Yi-wei one, the Ming Dynasty one. I'm guessing the plot will be pretty stupid. And the accuracy of depicting Jin Yi-wei will be very bad. Because people have a lot of misunderstandings of what Jin Yi-wei is. So I'm pretty sure in that department it wouldn't be really good, but then I just want to look at him in costume fighting. So that one is booked. Also, he has a sort of fantasy period fighting drama that he was filming last year. That's supposed to come out later this year. So that one has a lot of fighting. It's like focused on fighting. So that one. And then the current one he's making as an assassin. So 古装扮永久 permanent period drama. like pretty much like tattooed on him. Would be nice though if he has a couple of like really well-made, well-written contemporary relaxed drama. He looks also very good in contemporary styles, but not the Ju Jingyi and him one last year. That's just like ooh, a proper good one, like not too good. If you can be as good as say The Day of Becoming You, I'm happy. You don't have to do more than that. Even a bit less than that, I'd accept it. But then, I don't know, he keeps getting offers in period dramas, probably because he really looks good in period dramas, and there aren't that many people who look that good and who can do what he does, so mark it. Dying with Love. Like, Dying with Love is fine. When ex-girlfriend stuff comes out, I just feel it's really a come on. I really was. It's just very, very buzzkill when the ex-girlfriend thing comes out. Seems that they just cannot avoid this type of plot. Review 一闪一闪亮星星. I'm not sure because I have problems of continue through that drama for some reason. I can't quite tell. You know, I can tell in a way that it's not bad. And then I don't have any problems with the acting of that drama. But then I actually watched up to episode 12. And I still was like pretty like that. You're telling your story in the screen. I'm watching you from the outside. But I'm like, I don't want to join you. I was like, yeah, well, cool, good. And I don't remember to go back. You know, I'm not captured by that story. I know a lot of people like it. Although I don't see why, but, you know, I totally understand. Because, you know, it may just be your antenna is tuned to a different reception and just doesn't work on me. Although I do have to say, Xu Chuxiao is a really good actor of his age. One of the best. In terms of he has a lot of range. He really doesn't get limited by any particular type of roles. He can pretty much do everything. And then he can do it very convincingly. It's almost like he doesn't have the best look, you know, like handsome-wise, whatever. But then when he plays a certain role, he knows what is the underlying vibe of that person. And he will just capture that and you feel, oh, okay, makes perfect sense. Good student, bad student, yeah. Like one of those gangs group members walking the street makes sense. A good assassin makes sense. Like he can make everything make sense on him. And it's not very common you see that in young actors. He really has it. But like I said, the thing about him, unlucky and unfortunate, is he doesn't have the best reputation. And he really, really screws up his personal life very much. Therefore, a lot of people would just say, oh, no, there are plenty of good people out there. Why do we support this type of person? And they just turn their head around and just don't even look at his work. And you really cannot blame audiences for that because, you know, you dig your own grave type of thing. So, he's a good actor of his age range and very unique one. You don't see another one like him. Like, I can't think of another person that can be compared very similar to him, but then... yeah, if it doesn't sort out his personal things, and it's gonna pull him back. All like, and then what can you say? You know, you decide how you live your life, really. So, type of thing. Yeah, so 一闪一闪亮星星. I'm not sure. I may not be able to just because I couldn't watch through it. It's really long. Like for me, I was like, it still hasn't gotten anywhere. And I'm like, how many episodes left? How many? What? So many? Really? You know, when the drama makes me feel impatient. And I can't wait to see like what's the ending episode number. It usually means it doesn't work for me. Yeah, so unfortunately. General question, are you asking me, Wink? How am I doing? Pretty good, not bad, normal. Everything is like situation normal. And take out the all fucked up later part, it's good. It's like, that's good. You know, just being steady and normal is good these days. Kla available again? I can't because it's by the system itself. I can't do anything. So I have this Chinese platform that has like the live stream I've done last year. It's all talk. You don't see me. You just hear me talk and it's all in Chinese. The problem with that is the system, I cannot set it up. It just basically after 3 months, it goes into like a file that you can't see apart from yourself and your subscriber, and then after a certain time even your subscribers cannot see it. It just like does that. And you can't change it. So I have nothing I can do over there. It just is. I do have a version that I've taken from it as videos, but it's super large file because it's like 3 hours every time. It's like 3 to 4 hours, and I have 4 over there, so it's like 16 hours in total. And then because when I take it off that platform, it's recorded as a video on my computer. So every time it's 4 hours video. Just think about that, how huge that file is. So it becomes really inconvenient trying to share that to other people. It's gigantic file of me talking when I'm not even on screen. And then you can't see it on that app anymore because the app decides you cannot see it. Like, it's pretty stupid, but they do it. I don't know why. I think you have to pay. I think it's like you have to pay money so that you can watch older records of doing that, which is absolutely stupid for those platforms, but they do it. Hey, what can you do, hey? I think you have to pay money basically to see it, which is stupid. Don't do it. So, I do have a version. I think I put it on Baidu, but then it's impossible to share it anymore because they cut the links. Yeah, in Chinese internet, and then the file is too large to upload other places. The iCloud, that's free for me. It's really like, how many G? I can't remember, but it's a huge number. It's like 40 G or something, 30 G or something. It's just me talking, but it has that big of a file. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty complicated. So I'm gonna hear for another 10 minutes and I'll be go. I'll go. It's because it's close to 2 hours. If you're not going to sleep somewhere in this world and it's midnight, please just. I don't have anything interesting to say. I'm just gonna ramble about 10 minutes and then I'll be off. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Your liver needs that. Take care of your liver. You only have that one. Okay? Setting. Costume of Shangshi. Shangshi, I mean, some parts of its Ming Dynasty costume is right, but a lot of details are off. And it has a very weird self-invented stuff in it too, so it's hard to say, you know? Like what it just like it knows where, like, all the materials out there, what's the proper sort of things and what it will look like, but then they just always decide to add a little bit of their personal touch that's totally off, and they mix it together. So it's like, yeah, you've got like 80% of that right, but you just have to squeeze in that 5%, 10% weird thing on your own to show it's my stuff. Google Drive has a limit of how much is free, right, until it gets, and it's too big. And really, it's very boring. It's me talking for freaking 16 hours in Chinese with 2 of my friends. Yeah, it's exhausting to listen to that much talking. Some books, like what books? What type of books? It's too wide. Books. Can you recommend books? Too many books out there. What type of books? Oh, cool. Decorating a cake. Nice. Baking. There was a time I really wanted to learn baking, but I gave up because it's so like chemistry. You have to put everything in the right amount. This much sugar, this much flour, and the process of doing that, you cannot make even one mistake. If you make you add too much this, too much that, you take the process and you make it wrong in any way, it will not come out. A cake turns into a biscuit if you don't do it properly. And I'm like, this is too ridiculous. I'm just making some. Why is this so complicated? You know, Chinese people cook with feel. we just say a pinch of salt, a pinch of that, a little bit of this. That's how it's written on those menus. Like, they don't tell you exactly how much. And you don't have to measure it to gram. You just go by feel for it. So Chinese cooking is a lot to do with feel for it. But then cake making, oh my god. It's like chemistry, laboratory experiments. You add 5 grams more, it fucks up. Like, no, I can't remember all this. I make this correct this time, but next time, if it's 10 days later and I lose that piece of paper, I will not be able to recreate that. And I give up. I'm like, too much, can't do it. So for all the cake makers in this world, your brain, being able to keep all that information is impossible. Like, I'm like, wow, how can you do that? How can you remember? It's 90 grams of sugar, not 95. So, oh, respect, okay? Respect. MSG, Uncle Roger, yes, he's right. And wok hei, yeah, 锅气, which I do not have where I am, because it's not a fire stove, it's an electric one. I never get wok hei. I never. So like, my food where I cook it is just like really boring. Wow, your sister is a master of cake making. Cool. I guess like, if you make it every day, you eventually become like so accustomed to that, and then you kind of have a mental brain kind of map of it. Then you can. But to me, it's just so crazy. And then, you know, there's so many process, like how much air you beat into the egg, or how long you keep it in the fridge, and to what kind of like texture you do the dough, and then like all that is like, exploding. My head explodes. Oh, and then they put so much sugar in it. Everything has so much sugar. When you see the process, you kind of like, oh, do I really want to eat that? There's like half a bag of sugar just goes into a cake, and you're like, it's like, death, dosage of sugar death. I remember I used to work at a British television program, and in its kitchen, its cooking show. Yeah, unbelievable. I have weird working experiences. And then there was one day when the 2 kitchen girls were, after we've shot that program, so the afternoon, the program is like live during the midday, and then the afternoon they would go and shop and then prepare for next day's stuff. So they were in the kitchen, and they have a friend who was getting married a couple of days later. And it's a same-sex couple, really funny. So they were making a cake for their wedding using that program's kitchen, because the kitchen is big enough to do it, and it's like a 5-layer wedding cake. And I was looking at them mixing the cake, the base, and I saw how much sugar. It's literally, I think it's 2 pounds of sugar added into that huge bowl of the base of that cake, and they were pouring it in and doing the stir. I was like, what are you making? It's like a wedding cake. I'm like, that much sugar? I was like, yeah, this is only the base of the cake. We have like another 4 layers to go. I was like, sugar death. So it's very scary when you look at how cake is made and how much sugar goes into it. It makes you like stop. And it's like, maybe I don't want to eat that. Not be the person making it. True. Oh, you don't want to know how much sugar is in it, basically. I feel American cakes are just sugar. I mean, I think overall the Western cakes, Western desserts are too sweet for, say, a Chinese person. If you grew up in China, you probably feel all the desserts in, say, Europe or America is way too sugary. And I always think like that. So I don't actually like the desserts in Canada or in the UK, whether it's pudding or cheesecake or any of that, because it just like, it tastes bitter. It's too sweet to the point that it becomes bitter. It's just too bitter. I think too sweet. You can't continue. But that's definitely the Asian thing, because we are used to less sweet things. So it never tastes good, basically. All the cakes here. It's like, I know there are a couple of really good cake places in Winnipeg, but honestly, everything you buy from there is like, oh, way too much sugar, too sweet. Ma Yangjie, wow, that's so many people have watched so many dramas on my channel. And whenever you ask, it's like, wow, that drama, yes, I've heard about it. It's like that. It's like that month, that year it aired. Not too sweet. British people are particularly addicted to sugar. I think it comes from this history, right? There was a time when being able to eat sugar is like the posh thing. And people literally make bacon out of sugar back then. And they weren't aware that it actually destroys your health and your teeth until later, much later. So Britain has a lot of what we Chinese people would like to call 暗黑料理, and it parts is like really just not that nice food, but then another part of it is way too sweet stuff and very weird desserts. Can we be honest? Christmas pudding, mince pie are the two things I remember distinctively when I lived in the UK, and it baffles me why people would want to make and eat them. If you're a fan of these two things, sorry about that, but like when I was there, I was like, why would people make things like this, and why would they think it's edible? Mince pie and Christmas pudding are the two things I don't understand about British desserts. And it's not related to drama at all, but somehow I just suddenly start to talk about that. Hey, random stuff. Japanese desserts are very pretty. Like, they make the appearance so beautiful that you just want to look at it as a little piece of art, and you don't want to eat it because it's too pretty. But when you eat, it only has one taste. That's flavor, that's sweet. It doesn't have any other flavor, it's just sweet. Everything tastes like everything else is sweet, but then it's very pretty, like the extreme level of prettiness. English pancake, I know, like you even have pancake days, right? Because in my town, when I was there, they every February or something, they have this run of like holding the pancake and then run and flip it and not let it fall down. Like that's what they do in that town where I lived. So I do know that. Pancakes are not bad, you know, they're we have similar things in China. But mince pie, oh my god, mince pie is something I never would understand. I was like, ugh. Just me, okay, just me. Latin American desserts, not sure. I do have somebody who is from Brazil once made something really nice for me. What is that? It's a particular Brazilian bread that comes from Portugal that has cheese and then it's like a ball. Can't remember the name of it, but it's very nice. Plant inspiration. I don't know. What is that? Veggie meat? I mean, if you want to eat so-called healthy, right, just don't eat veggie meat because it's so processed. Whether it's plant-based or not, when it gets processed to that level, it's no longer healthy for you anyway. It can't, like, go and just grab some cabbage. It's better than eat that. And also like a lot of plant-based meat are based on like soy and soy has like, if you eat too much soy, it's also not very good for your hormones. I mean, like, if you eat it all the time for every meal, it's not really that good. And if anyone is curious about diet, I actually have very crazy diet experiences. There was a time for 5 solid years, 365 days a year, 5 solid years, I was a vegan. And to the point that I never even touched animal fat, milk, egg, none of that. Obviously not fish or seafood. I was a vegan for 5 freaking years of my life. Can you believe that? So I know a lot, okay, about that whole world of being a vegan. 5 years. So nobody can convince me about like their ideal diet plans and, you know, like sell me anything these days about, oh, this diet is great, that is like, you have to eat this for like, I'm like, I've done that. I've done that before you even heard about it. It's like old experienced person with a lot of personal stories. That type of like thing. So diet to me now is like, yeah, myth and all that is like, I've moved beyond that point. It's an interesting journey. So we should end this stream soon because this is not it doesn't look like a drama reviewer stream anymore. It looks like a food channel now, and people start to talk about food all the time. I cannot speak for other people, but I think everybody's body is different. And I don't think science has completely figured out why something works for some people and don't work for others. And we're far from there. So you have to trust yourself. Don't listen to other people, you know. If you're curious about, say, if I move to this diet, whether it's going to be good, like, first, make sure you're healthy to start with. Like, if you have health problems, then don't do anything weird, you know, out of, like, no good reason. Listen to your doctors. And then if you want to shift things, right, pay attention to what you've done, record it, and then honestly listen to yourself. Don't listen to any other people, because their opinion and what happens to them will not necessarily happen to you, right? So you listen to your own body and you own a genuine feeling about it. And it may take actually a while, and it may, you know, it may be good or not. You don't know. But you have to trust yourself in that you don't get influenced too much about other people's opinions about things. And then if they start to sell you things, right? Every time, whatever diet, they start to sell you anything, they promise it's gonna make your life better, run away. The other direction, 160, 80 degree, okay? That's definitely important. You have to keep that in mind. So, and then you, after a while, you gauge that yourself, okay? And then really, it wouldn't be the same for everyone. And you don't quite know exactly what the other so-called vegans are doing in their life. Whether they're taking certain supplements that they're not telling you, whether they have other people who are taking care of their whatever, whether they have the resources to constantly monitor whatever is going up and down in their blood and whatever. You know, whether you have the same sort of, you know, like possibility of getting all that information. And therefore, you know, like, if you want to try it, you can, but then make sure you're doing it safely, and then be honest about that. A lot of people want to convince themselves into something, and it's a very dangerous thing to think a certain diet is more morally superior than the other, and you do it for that reason, and it's stupid to do that. I tell you that. And a lot of people have like very like, they probably wouldn't even tell you that, but they feel so good about themselves because they don't eat certain thing, or they eat certain thing, or like they do this diet and then think they're better than others. You know, if that's the motivation, and that is where you do that because of that, think twice, you know. In a way, you know, when you're saying I'm doing this for the good of who, and it's like, really, is that true? You know, think like, there's actually, look at the reality of the world. Is it actually true? And then if you're doing it out of like just want to feel better than other people, then stop doing that. It just feeds, like, you know, by not eating something, it feeds your ego to become a bigger thing. Then it's like not worth it. Really. And it's not worth it. Okay, you're one person. Okay, there's only that much you can eat in your entirety of life, right? And you don't need to make it a crusade about what you eat. And definitely don't do it out of like, I want to be morally superior. That's definitely like the worst part you can, like, worst starting point of doing anything is that, right? And then really be honest about it. And if it doesn't work for you, just stop it. I mean, I thought, because I was 5 years vegan, and I thought like, after 5 years, if I start eating meat, I'm gonna have like a huge reaction to it. And do you know what? After I take my first bite of meat, after 5 years of not tasting any animal products, nothing happened. Nothing. I didn't get any weird reactions, like the skin goes the problem, I feel weird, you know, or like I you know, like nothing happened. Not even one unusual thing happened. It's as if I was just eating like before. Whether I went back to eating meat or not, like, you know, like I was vegan for 5 years, and then that day, I remember clearly what that day is. The date, I even remembered it. And what I ate, I remembered it, because it's very monumental, you know? And then what happened? Nothing. It's like, I thought I'm gonna like run to the toilet and then have like the worst whatever for a week. Guess what? Nothing happened. I'm like, and then I am like, yeah, I just like, I eat what I need and what I want, and try not to be addicted to one thing too much. Really, that's what I do. And then everything else is like, yeah. When you go to the grocery shop, you can go to grocery shopping and you see, oh, that thing looks really fresh today, so I'll get it. Usually that's how it works. The other day I went to the grocery and I saw like those, they happen to have super fresh artichoke. And I was like, wow, they look so fresh. Rarely do I see that in Canada with such fresh artichoke. And I was like, yeah, but it's -30 outside. The moment I take it outside, it's gonna die. So I don't buy it anymore. That type of thing. So yeah, we've gone to diet at the end of this video. Very weird. But my suggestion for any kind of diet for you is don't add extra meaning onto it. It's just what you eat, you know. It's no grand plan of like destroying humanity or the world or saving it. Don't put that on it. It's not that the earth is still gonna be here, even if all humans die tomorrow, okay? Don't worry about them. No need, okay? So that would be my advice about diet. Okay, I should end this. Yeah, so thank you for joining this stream. Take care. In the heat, in the cold, in in the daylight or at night. Be safe. World peace. Come on. Pray for that. We need that. God knows we need that. And then take care. I'll see you in my next video.